Hi everyone, Jan is signing in. Welcome to another Sunday video. This time I will be working with this European spruce. I got it 3 years ago and repotted it into this wooden box. It had been growing nicely for the last 2 years, and this spring I put it on the turntable. I had no clear idea of the future design or direction yet, but it was not a problem. I commenced the work by cleaning the weak, unusable green mass while studying what the tree offers for styling. During the cleanup, I always get to know the tree better and some ideas always appear later on. It will be the first initial styling for this spruce. Here in close-up, what I'm doing with scissors inside the branches. I'm removing the unnecessary foliage. All the weak twigs need to go out and make space for the wires. I also need to reveal the structure of the branches to see what is inside. It is not about the branch selection or heavy reduction of the foliage mass. I simply take off everything that I don't need and leave the workable, healthy material with some potential to be turned into the primary structure of the tree. This is how the tree looked after the cleaning process. I have plenty of vigorous branches, about a reasonable length. The pity is that the stems are not longer. It would be cool to incorporate some crazy dead wood into the design, but it is what it is. Most of the quality of this tree is concentrated in the very first portion of the trunk, or it's a kind of weird double trunk actually. After the old looking base with nice bark, we have cylindrical uninteresting parts and a little forced continuation of the trunk lines. The tree is also very tall. Something was telling me this would be about a radical compacting. So I started removing a portion of the tissue from the longest and thickest branch. I carefully splinted the wood with the big root cutter. Roughly 50% of the wood was removed. It makes the branch much more flexible. I removed the last layers of the tissue with a laser blade. I wanted evenly distributed tissue in this entire section. Unevenly thinned wood is more susceptible to break while being bent. I'm going to apply the wire to it. Half of the wire will be placed on the lowest branch and the second half will create a spine for my thinned portion. Then I repeated the same process with the second line to reinforce the system. The thinned part was wrapped with wet raffia. I always want to wrap it as tight as possible. After I finished the raffia, I continued to wire up the rest of the branch with wire which is covered under the raffia as a spine. This creates a strong closed system. The following bending is ridiculously easy. I just need to be careful and focus to bend the branch with evenly distributed force. Then I pulled the guide wire and locked the branch in the new position. After I wired the rest of the structural branches, I started gradually compacting the tree. I executed the same operation on the secondary trunk, but this time I wrapped it with the medical bandage as I ran out of raffia. I am not the 100% raffia purist. Even though I like the clean, natural and traditional look of the raffia bandage, I'm also open to other materials. At the end of the day, it is just temporarily on the tree, and if it works, it works. I started to bend the lower trunk in the same way as the main. and wire the rest of the branches. I also pulled a steel guy wire to lock the band. The following is the gradual compacting and placing of the main branches together with the wiring of the secondaries. The wiring must be solid and strong to really hold the branches into the new positions. It is quite labor intensive at this stage, your forearms will feel it. Now I have a little bit more clear idea about the overall proportion of the tree. I examined the former apex of the tree, which is now the main branch, and selected only the usable branches as I had too many in this place. And finally I removed a part of it. But as it is the first initial styling, I keep a lot of branches. More than will be needed for the fine-tuned main structure of the future. I wire the rest of the branches, place them into more or less horizontal positions and spread them out. You can see how I mostly touch the wires and pinch them with my fingers. I always minimize direct contact with the foliage and even more while working on spruces. I also get to use gloves in this stage. It is still pretty rough work. As the structure was set, I started to place the secondary branches and put all the flipped wicks back to the horizontal position. It is crucial to respect the upper part and the bottom side. If we flip it upside down, it is very bad for the tree as the bottom part is not used to be exposed to the sun. In the case of spruces, it means certainly sunburn and extreme stress for the tree. We need to take good care of that while styling the trees. Now I started to focus on the smaller secondary branches and arrange the bats. This branch was too long and laggy. Now it's clear that I don't need it. The following is a focused and more detailed cleaning and wiring of the small twigs in order to pull out the design a bit more and organize the foliage in a way that every branch is maximally exposed to the sun and has enough space. On the other hand, it is the initial styling and many branches will be gradually substituted for a better one, and I will also polish the structure, so it doesn't need to be overstyled. I clean up the surface a bit and found nice surface roots, which will only add to the character of the tree in the future. I also brushed the bandage and raffia with wet river mud in order to disguise it and turn down the bright white color. And this is the result of the first styling. The initial structure is set, the tree is compacted and will be gradually improved in the future. I will let the tree pull strongly for a whole season and then gradually work on improvements. Anyway, I will share the process with you in some other video. This is all for this episode. Thanks for watching and bye for now. Jan is signing off. Bye bye.